Hey, welcome back to the morning sip, y'all. You got your mug so I can pour and y'all can sip. I hope you enjoyed your morning sip yesterday. I did. We are talking self love, and I am so passionate about this topic. And I think I'm so passionate about it because I really have found that the more I dig into the layers around self love, it frees me of so many things so that I can energetically, mentally, physically move into the constant state of abundant living that I'm seeking to live and exist in. And so yesterday we talked about this notion of making sure that you understood that self-love isn't about actions. It isn't about doings. It isn't, which is why it's easily confused with self-care. It's not the same as showing up as the personal hero for yourself, but you can't show up as your own superhero until you begin to master self-love. And let me correct that. You can show up as the superhero for yourself, but it's not going to be to the point that it's a constant, sustainable, growing state that you innately operate from, that no matter what happens, I like to say, you always want to measure how you're doing in anything based on where you are at your resting point. So for those people who work out, and you go get a physical, or the trainer kind of test out how you're doing, they basically are checking what they like to call your resting heartbeat. What is that compared to what your heartbeat is when you're stretching and stressing the heart, either through cardio or weightlifting, etc. And so I always say, how well do you perform in anything without stressing intentionally and putting strain on it? How well do you show up as the superhero in your life with acts of self-care and a space of love without having to pause and intentionally do it? And the answer for most of us in that is not too well. We have to think, we have to plan. Why? Because we're building a muscle. We're building our self-love heart capacity up. And eventually, if we continue to apply these over and over again, and we continue to meet here and sip and connect and build each other and apply and grow and stretch, trust you me, you're going to start to realize that instinctively you operate from a place of self-heroic expression. And that's because you're digging into self-love. Well, today, I'm going to give one of the first key principles around self-love and how you get to a place of self-love being. And it's just kind of your state of being in existence. Technically, I gave the first one away last week when I talked about scheduling gifts for yourself. That was technically one. This one, I start off with this quote: know thyself. Have you ever wondered why you treat other people nicer than you treat yourself? Have you ever wondered why you're so much more considerate for the feelings of others than you are yourself? And by that, I mean you will be gracious even when you don't want to, and merciful with those who you really love and adore, and you don't want to hurt their feelings, but you'll wake up and tell yourself every day how you're lazy, how you're fat, you got to get shit together, how, I can't believe you haven't met this goal yet. But yet we've got this harsh insensitivity with ourselves. You know why? Because we're in better relationship with other people than we are ourselves. One of the biggest principles of self-love is self-relationship. The relationship right here. Nowhere along the line do we frequently popularize the notion of being in and maintaining and growing in relationship with ourselves. We are taught to get to know yourself and get comfortable spending time with yourself. But then what? Okay, so I'm here by myself. Then what? Okay, so I sit quiet. Then what? What if I don't meditate? If I'm praying, I'm typically praying to God. What do I do with myself? You mirror the relationship that God gave us to have with other people. What do you do with and for other people? We invest time in getting to know people that we love. We invest in treating those relationships a certain way. We speak kind to them. We're thoughtful of how we make time for them, how we go above and beyond to even inconvenience ourselves for them. We get them gifts, right? We work things out. We work through conflict. That's a mirror example of how you start to have a relationship with yourself. And I'm not saying anyone doesn't have a relationship with themselves, because I think we all do. But do you really approach it as a relationship that's the number one most important relationship than everyone else? And I don't just mean in a quick, cute meme kind of a way, like love on yourself. I mean literally, like, I'll give you an example. Every quarter now, I take time just to see how Deirdre's doing. Not if she's meeting goals, not if I feel like she's gaining too much weight or even achieving, not if the people in her life don't think she's doing well. How you doing, girl? How are you feeling? Based on what you've been doing lately, do you like it? Do you enjoy it? Or is it something you don't enjoy? And if you don't enjoy it, let's sit and talk about and think about why we don't enjoy it. Who's feeding us versus draining us these days? Being in relationship with yourself, being the first person that you talk to in the morning. Now, see, we talked about this morning routine, and I told you come to a place of gratitude. Why? Because the first place you're checking in with is you. I think after you talk to the divine, or before you talk to the divine, you need to talk to yourself. What is the morning conversation you're having with yourself? I want to wrap this up because I don't want this one to be too long. Principle number technically 2 of self-love is to intentionally level up the relationship that you have with yourself. I would almost go as far as to say, start to date yourself, become your real best friend. We say we're our best friends, but we're not. We're not, because we don't talk to our best friends the way we talk to ourselves. We don't spend as much time. We don't. That's the truth. Fall in love with yourself. And you can't fall in love with anything you don't know. No one enjoys spending time with anybody they don't really know or that they don't like. And if you don't like parts of yourself, figure out why. Get really underneath there. The reason that relationship with yourself is so important to self-love. I'm not even going to go into a deep explanation. I'm just going to say, think about your mother, your father, your siblings, your children, your spouse. Think about how many times they've hurt you. Because that's just a natural fact in life. You can't love anyone who doesn't disappoint you. Think about how many times they've disappointed you. Think about how you still fiercely would protect them and go above and beyond for them more than anything else in the world. Now imagine that you treated yourself that way. Tell me what you wouldn't do for you. Tell me what you wouldn't believe about yourself and what you're capable of and what you will do. Tell me how much grace you wouldn't show yourself if you really fell in love with yourself the way you love the people closest to yourself. How many times you wouldn't say to yourself, that's all right, girl, get back up again. You missed that goal. You missed that weight loss goal. I say weight loss because I'm very hard on myself concerning weight. I'm much better about my body image, but I am hard on myself. That's all right. You missed that savings goal. That's all right. You forgot that 30-day payment and now it's showing up on your credit report. And now you got to wait about a year to get that off. Girl, it happens to the best of us. What do we need to do it better the next time? That's all right. You disappointed them. You couldn't show up to the family function. You couldn't make sure you made such and such party and you know you hurt her feelings, but you didn't do it intentionally. That's all right. Love on you anyway. And know that if she loves you, she'll understand that you took care of yourself. It was the best you could do. Maybe you didn't show up because you had to go to support your kids. That's okay. You hurt your kids' feelings. That's okay. That's all right. What do we need to do about it? Having the relationship with yourself is what provides you the space and capacity to be the most gracious to yourself. Now that gets into tomorrow or Saturday. I might have to come back tomorrow because it's too good. I'll see you guys real soon. I don't know how y'all got another 10 minutes out of me. I want you to put in the comment section, what, number one, did you get out of your 5 minutes of meditation yesterday? I want you to tell me today how many minutes or what time today or what part of the day that you're going to come back and say to yourself, how do we take really good steps at leveling up in the relationship that we have with ourselves? I also want you to click share, comment and share. Bring the tribe to the table so we can all level up together. Be bold, be authentic, and most importantly, be gracious. This is Dee Kendricks. I'll see y'all later.